And into the north we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast, Into the North. As always, I'm Don the Jeweler, and rocking with me out in Manitoba, he's the human version of a DJ's air horn, Mr. Chantastic. How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's going on, homie? How you been?
Oh, good. Amped up.
Right on, bro. Yeah, that first part was wild. I can't wait to get on to the second one.
And
man.
let's not waste any time. Our interview with Gsale went so long that we managed to chop it up into a two-parter. Part one was awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. It's getting a great response. And now, let's check out part two with our man out in Winnipeg.
Let's go.
Gsale.
Let's go.
So how do you feel about emulation?
I mean, I love it.
Okay.
I think for the average person, it's the best thing you're gonna do. And I mean, even like I remember playing like NES emulators when I was like in high school. Like they even had them on the computers at the time, and it was like, I think for especially for older games where, a game that I've been trying to beat for like ever is like Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, and it's like without save states, that game is virtually impossible to beat. And it's not that it's impossible; it's just that like you're gonna spend so much time trying to beat one level. And then every time you die, you got to go back and play the other 5 before that again, just to get one more shot at it. So you never really get a chance to get good at it because you're always going back. Especially with those early games, the ability to have save states is like really beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people think of it as cheating. I don't care. For me, I'm just playing it for fun. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love emulation. I think it's awesome. I have an Xbox that's emulated. I have a PSP that's emulated.
Nice.
That's great.
Modified. So PSP is a really underrated handheld. But I mean, I had a friend mod mine for me, and I play RPGs on it. I play a lot of old NES games on it. I mean, I'm more of like, I have this.
Anything PS1 goes on it if you have it modified. So Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Yep.
no doubt.
Yep.
Hot Shots Golf. Excuse me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm also like, I kind of like to just lay in bed sometimes and play games, and it's like, I know like I've had people be like, well, you have all those games, why do you want to emulate them? I'm like, yeah, but like sometimes I just want to lie in bed or lie on the couch, and it's like I don't want to be sitting in front of my TV downstairs playing games all the time. So
that makes sense. That makes sense.
And I for one, I love emulation. I think it's fantastic. Back in the day, I would always throw emulators on my computer and fire away, and it would always be funny because like I play like 90 seconds of one, load up another game of something else. All right, I died. Fucking throw something else on.
Yeah, exactly.
And in a world that is gonna eventually, it's all gonna be on a cloud, right? All of our gameplay is what you do and what you do very well, and the love you have associated with an actual tangible thing that you could take, stick it in, press play, and play with it. That world is gonna be prehistoric at some point. You know what I mean? Everything's going away from having to the resources to make the plastic to put the disc in. Everything costs, and if you're not going to have to do it anymore, everyone's going to move away from it.
Yep.
And I think that makes your shit cooler, to be honest.
Don't the PS5s, aren't they all digital now? Like they have a disc one, I think, right? But aren't like a lot of them going digital? You have like a digital only version.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
right?
I think the PS5 has like a digital only version. So, and then they have a disc version for like those who still want to buy the games. But it's like, like the newer generation, like they're not like the idea of physically owning something is different than it was for us. Like we didn't have options.
Yeah, they're not standing in a line waiting hours, in the middle of the night for this game to drop. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, it's available now. I'll click a button, download it, boom, done. Like
I remember with CDs, I would go the day it comes out. You'd have to stand in line sometimes because you wanted a copy. My wife tells this great story about how I think it was her dad. Her dad, she's like, I'm skipping school today because NSYNC comes out. It's 2:00, 9 a.m. NSYNC comes out, so I'm going to get it. And her dad's like, all right, well, go ahead. You can't grow up in the 70s and say we're all about rock and roll and fucking fighting the man, and then your daughter wants to skip one class and be like, no, go to school. You don't get your NSYNC CD. How dare you? So he let her go, and her brother's ex-girlfriend at the time took her, and they waited in line and got NSYNC the day it came out. No Strings Attached, I think the CD was, which ended up selling 1 million in its first like 9 days or something, which back then was astronomical.
Yeah.
But being able to get it when it dropped was massive.
You wouldn't have seen my latest video because I haven't dropped it yet. It's in the editing process. But would you mind if I give you a sneak peek, because it has to do with I have an item right over there that has everything to do with what you just said.
Not only would I be honored to have the sneak peek, you could show it to Corey in real time. Get Corey to meet you somewhere and show it to him on your phone.
Yo, no doubt.
Give me like literally 6 seconds. It's sitting right there on the shelf, and it's I saw it at a garage sale 3 weeks ago.
What do you think we're about here in the north? Into the north means if you have something dope, go get it and put it on the screen, man. Let's see it.
Dialogue. I didn't want to just like walk over there and
grab it.
Yo,
trust me.
Okay, hang on. Hold
Let's
up.
do it.
Yeah, man. There ain't no rules. Yeah, so that's what we're all about over here, man. You got something dope. We're here for dope shit. We're here to make sure everyone's entertained. All our watchers out there. We got 20 a week. We got to show them. We got to show them something interesting. So if you got something dope, man, don't hold back. Bring it out. That's what we're about here in the north, brother.
Yeah. You said NSYNC, no strings attached. So I found this lovely marionette at a garage sale.
Oh, so good.
Man. In the box. Are you kidding me?
The old JC in the box.
Yeah, my wife had Justin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. The video was bad. I'm just saying.
It was dope. Yep.
Justin Timberlake's meteoric rise to fame, he had a great run. That's not because he came out of nowhere. He put in work. NSYNC, in a world where boy band music was, the top of the pops, NSYNC was solid. They could sing. The choreography was good. They had great producers.
Where did you find that? A small town, or was that just some random?
No, I found that in like the North End. I was like garage selling in Winnipeg one day. I think it was it was like on it was funny because I bought it. It was $5. So I paid the woman, and as I'm walking away, she goes into the backyard, and I guess it was her husband. She's like, "Hey, someone bought your NSYNC doll," and he's like, "That thing's vintage." And so that was funny. I'm like, I honestly, I don't even know if I'll sell it or what. I just thought it was funny to see. It's weird shit like that catches my eye.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. It's all good.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes when what people think is vintage, right?
Yeah. I think there's people who define who kind of have a definition for with video games. People talk about retro games, and it's my definition of, and that's the thing. For me, retro would be cartridge-based games.
Yep.
Because when you hit the dip, but I mean, if you want to look at it that way, PS1 is old already.
Yes, it is.
Technically PS1 would be retro. I mean, even original Xbox. But I mean, for me, just my own definition, I look at retro as cartridge based, or at the bare minimum 2 to 3 generations behind the current ones. So, but I mean, everyone's got their own, especially when you collect. People use the word rare a lot.
Yes.
I don't like that because there are very few games that I think are actually rare. There are games that I would say are uncommon. You're not going to come across them all the time, but they're not you can go on eBay and to me, the mark of a rare game is if I searched on eBay and can't find it, it's probably rare.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Yeah. There's some form. There's definitely one or two of them somewhere out in the world, whatever, being sold that if you clicked on it, it'll pop up. If it doesn't pop up on any of these platforms of purchasing somewhere off the web, then considered rare for sure. I would say
yeah.
Okay, Matt, let me ask you something. All right, Matt, let me ask you a question. How big is it, and how much of it do you want to show to us?
It's huge, and as much as you want.
That's incredible. See, that's what we want up here in the north. Obviously, I'm talking about your collection.
Please.
Yeah, because it's funny. Usually we open with that. So how many games do you have? We went right into the guts of it. We're like, what do you mean Super Mario 2 is better than 3? Yeah. Do you have a number, or is it something that?
Yeah, I have I have an app that keeps track of all the games I have. So
your NES, right, or of every?
No, just everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Retro Collector. You can
Is it like that sneaker stock exchange they have? You know what I mean? There's a sneaker app. I think it may be for more than sneakers.
It does a similar thing.
And you put your sneaker and what year and whatever, and it shows you its current value. People can make you offers on it, and then because there's certain shoes that go from $800 to $3,000 right off drop because everything gets sold. You know what I mean? So you can actually see it fluctuate like a stock. So I mean, if they have that for video games, that's insane.
Yeah, they do have a
Stock
website
X,
called
I think it's called.
Yeah, I'm not into the shoe games. I don't know, but
Mhm.
there is a website called Price Charting, which will show you the most recent eBay sold listings,
Mhm.
and it gives you a pretty good like place to start, at least if you're looking at values of games. But the app that I use, it's not great for values. I find it tends to overvalue a lot of games, but it's good just as a checklist to know what you have,
Mhm.
so that if I'm out, out and about, and I'm like, oh, do I have this game already? I can just quickly look, and I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so I mean, in terms of number, I'm probably it's tough because there are some that I don't have in catalog, but I'd say around 4,000, probably a little, maybe like 3950 or something in that range.
Okay.
And
all your systems.
For consoles, I probably have. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're counting like variant consoles, like, so I have 3 Super Nintendos that are all, well, 2 Super Nintendos that are different, 2 Nintendos that are different.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I probably have about 50 consoles.
Fat boy PS3, skinny PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I see what you're saying. So
yeah, I think I have 50 consoles. I mean, it could be more or less, depending if you want to count handheld consoles too. So yeah, it's somewhere in the 50 range. I don't know. I don't have a good number on, but.
So 4,000 games in total of all your systems?
Yeah.
How much just for NES alone?
NES is about 680.
Is that your biggest collection of games?
No, behind me, the Wii, there's 1,280 of them.
Oh,
I never knew that, dude. Well, we made more games than Nintendo did, though, right? The first NES?
Yeah, way more. Yeah. It actually goes more like the original NES made, I believe it's like 680. Super Nintendo was like 720. And then the N64 only had like 290 because it just
wasn't many. There wasn't many. I know that.
Yeah, but some fucking game changers. GoldenEye changed the world for
fucking
shooters.
GoldenEye's, yeah, that's another topic altogether, man. Like shit.
Yeah. So on the next hour of the show, we're going to discuss GoldenEye.
yeah,
so,
we could.
So with that NES,
have you played it? You played it recently though?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so I have, and it's shit for the sole reason that if you play an FPS, not being able to turn around and look is the dumbest shit in the history of FPSs.
Absolutely, like it's and it hurts the brain, man. It hurts the brain playing games like that.
But at 13, it was the greatest game ever, and it was great multiplayer. It was great everything. But the second you added the second stick, and now that you can move your guy and then move where you look, it's a wrap. Like GoldenEye's donezo in regards like that.
So do you have any games that are like oddly rare to you? Like, what's your rarest game you own?
Well, yeah. So again, back to the whole rare thing. I have a game here in front of me that I didn't know what the hell this was. I was at a garage sale in the city here. I saw it on the table for $5. I thought that just looks weird. It's a common game, but it looked different. So I figured, whatever, I'm going to buy this. I asked the guy if he knew about it. He said no. And then I went to do some research and realized there's almost nothing on this game, like nothing. And I thought, okay, something's going on here. And then after I went to eBay, Amazon, I went to some Google forums. I finally got some info on this thing. And so it turns out NHL 12 was released on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It's a common... sports games in general are common.
Right off the bat, this is newer than I thought this conversation would be anywhere near.
Going older, for sure, man.
Yeah. And the reason I say this is my rarest game is because after doing some research, I found out what this game actually is. So, NHL 12 had a promotion. EA Sports had a promotion with the Winnipeg Jets, and what they did was they were going to bring in Evander Kane, who was a Jet at the time. Pre all of his drama.
I remember seeing that.
And he was going to go to Future Shop on opening day, and he was going to sign the first 100 copies of this game for the Xbox 360. And you had to stand in line, and you bought the game, and then Evander Kane signed a custom cover for you. Yeah, so in reality, this game there's 100 of them out there, which makes it incredibly rare. Even some of the rarest games on the stadium events or something, there's thousands of them. I mean, maybe not thousands.
So there's 100 that were sold that day at that one spot only.
Yeah, and this is what
anything
it looks like.
anything promotional, you got to think they're gonna pound out as many as they can, right?
Yeah,
That's
there was
awesome.
100.
That's
but
awesome.
if you look at it, if you look at the disc, it's literally it's Stamkos, but it's the regular disc. Like the game is no different. The only thing they changed was this slip cover.
Crazy.
So, but again, this is one of those games that's like there's less than 100 of them out there. But really, who wants it? Like, unless you're a Winnipeg Jets fan, you don't care. And if you're like a hardcore 360 collector, you're not even going to count this as part of the collection because it's a variant. Random story. I just happened to be at my friend's or Christine's family's house for Christmas one year, and we're talking, and someone had asked me that same question, like, "Hey, what's your rarest game?" And I brought this up, and his wife goes upstairs and she goes, "Hey, look what I got."
You got the same one
for the PS3. So apparently they also did 100 for the PS3.
You got them both.
So she was walking by, she was on her lunch break, and she saw this lineup, and she was like, "What's going on?" So she stood in line and got the game and met Evander Kane.
Oh,
so she's like, "I don't want it." She's like, "You can have it." So she gave it to me.
That's amazing. Of course he has both. How dare we doubt the mighty Gsale? Of course he has both of them.
Shit,
that's amazing.
We're not worthy.
Yeah.
We're not worthy.
But like, yeah. So I mean, in terms of rare games, I mean, like, yeah, like I mean, I have a couple NES games that are almost at the $1,000 mark. I have some. I have like Futurama on the Xbox has gone up a lot. That's like a $300-400 game now. Chrono Trigger's up there in price. I got that one. I got an Earthbound. That one's up there. I mean, I wouldn't call those rare games by any stretch of the imagination, but they are expensive games. I mean, there's games for the Wii behind me that are, I'll grab this one here. You can only get this if you lived in Mexico. It's a Mexican singing game.
No way.
It was released in, it's technically NTSC, which means it'll play in your North American Wii, but you could only buy it in Mexico. So I had to get it off eBay because I wasn't going to run into one here.
How did you find out about that, first off? Like, how do you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing with collections, right? Like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, going to the video game store for Nintendo and seeing, like, the black cartridge games or the blue cartridge games. Like, those were unlicensed games. They should never have existed. Like, Nintendo never gave them permission to make them. So when you look at and a lot of them were, like, religious Bible games or weird, like,
I've seen some, yes. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah, Nintendo sued most of those companies pretty successfully. And they were removed, but like that didn't stop them from getting made.
I remember the Bible games. If they're gonna put the devil in them video games, we gotta put the Lord in them.
Yeah, I got them all here. They're fun. They're actually really weird games.
It's a castle. It's a reskin Castlevania, but it's Moses fighting fucking vampires and.
Yeah, there's a couple of them weird ones like that. There's a Zelda clone, basically. That's a religious game. They call it Spiritual Warfare. Yeah. This isn't
too much of a on the edge podcast, but you know, I'm gonna say if it's something called warfare, maybe that isn't the vibe you want your church to be putting out. Like,
no doubt.
There's actually one. I have it. It's the weirdest game ever. It's actually kind of fun. It's called Bible Buffet, and it's basically Candyland. With Bible quotes in between.
But it's a board game.
It's a board game, but every time you like go to a certain, like you beat a certain level, you have to answer like Bible questions.
Oh, no way.
That's the only thing the Bible has to do with the game.
Bible Buffet gives you more of a vibe of like a Burger Time, where like, you know, just like tablets of the commandments are just falling down and stacking up on each other.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty bad overall, but yeah, so I mean, when you get to the later cons, so like, yeah, when you look at the original Nintendo, there's a debate like, what's complete? Is it all the games that, like, all the unlicensed games, all the weird variants that only came out in Australia, or whatever? I always looked at my view of a complete collection was it had to be commercially available in North America. Like, you had to be able to go to a store and buy this game.
Fair enough.
So that like rules out like competition cartridges.
Yeah.
that rules out like weird variants, like not for resale variants.
When we were
So
kids,
when I
Nintendo had a huge swarm of the 50 and ones, 90 and ones, where it was like just
those are Japanese. Yeah, those are Japanese.
Those are
yeah. But we would get them
yes.
over here.
I
You know,
had
5
those,
versions of
right.
Balloon Fight. Like anyone needs to play that shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, they were all common.
Popeye was on them.
Sometimes it would have a weird name, and you'd be like Gold Warrior. You'd click on it, it's like, oh, it's Zelda.
Yeah.
It's like it just had like a different name.
I remember you had that one, but I think it was 2 pieces.
No,
Is it possible it's 2 pieces?
It had a converter.
Oh, it was 2 pieces. That's right.
Yeah, 'cause
It was. Yes.
With a
It
converter.
had. Yeah. It had. I think. Like 50-in-1 games or something, or even more than that. It was. I had baseball on there. I had Excite Bike at one point. I had a bunch of games. It was crazy.
Yeah. But that was because back then you could go to like the corner store and they sold video games. Like nowadays, like Walmart would never sell a bootleg game, right? Like you know, like or EV games or whatever. But like back then, like any store could buy them, right? So you would get all these weird imports and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like with the Wii, like there isn't any unlicensed games, but there are games that are like were Mexican releases or there's one game on here. I have it somewhere. It's called Let's Sing 2016. It actually has nudity in it that I guess somehow slipped through the radar. So there's like a seed where like it's basically like music videos, but a lot of them are European. So there's like there's like a topless woman in there, and I guess nobody kind of checked it, and it sort of snuck. There's a game for the Xbox. I don't know if you guys know the story. I'll grab it. It's right here beside me.
Gsale, while you're up, look at your collection and tell me if you have Trauma Center on the Wii.
Yep, I got all 3 of them.
Oh, yeah. There's 3 of them? I thought there was only 2.
There's Trauma Center, there's New Blood, and
Second Opinion.
Second Opinion, there you go, yeah.
So,
That's
I
a unique game.
love that game. It was on the Wii. It's like a surgery game.
Yeah.
So
it's very cool. It's like I played Trauma Center. I haven't played the other 2. I don't think. It's called Trauma Team.
It's the same thing, only there's more newer surgeries and stuff. So you have on the nunchuck, you could select like your sutures and your suction and your scalpel and your laser and your tweezers and your whatever. And then with the actual Wiimote, you could you cut the guy open, you suction it out, you take the piece of bone, you turn it, put it back on the leg, clean it, sew it back up, and and it had a lot of levels. Each game had 35 missions. There you go.
Oh, nice. There it is.
I played this one. There's also New Blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy, man.
Crazy. And then there's Second Opinion, like you said. Yeah.
Become a doctor.
Basically, and it's cool because when you fail, your boss doctor gives you this speech, and it's all tragic and it's super and it's different. It's a Japanese game, so it's the different Japanese characters jumping in. Like Dr. Hiramoto comes in, and it's the pretty blonde one. She's like, "But we can't do it without the research." And then Dr. Sternface is like, "No, we have to do it or you'll die." And then you have to do the surgery, new kid, and you're like.
See, you know what that is? That's just the new age from that board game or game that we used to play where it would buzz if you fucking touched the side. Yeah, Operation. That's what that is.
There's actually a ColecoVision or a Atari game called Microsurgeon where you're generally doing the same thing, but it's Atari graphics.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So this game for the original Xbox, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called the Guy game.
No.
No, it's actually uncommon. It's not easy to find because it got pulled. So basically, it's a trivia game where when you answer questions right, they'll have live video of girls get naked. And
you're playing this next time I'm at your house.
Yeah. So the problem is it turns out one of the models was under 18 and lied to them. So when the story broke, they had to pull every game off the shelves because it was technically underage.
What, they didn't check IDs properly or what?
I guess they didn't, because so she sued the company or whatever. So the game it's harder to find because they pulled it, right? So but they'd already sold a bunch of them, so it wasn't like they could get it back. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm lucky or not, but I got a copy of it. So.
As if.
Hey man, if you're trying to check as many boxes as you can in this pursuit of perfection, right? You might as well.
Yeah.
Hey, and there's a story behind it. That's so. Here's the thing this is from my take on. I collect action figures too, but nowhere nearly as involved as I collect vinyl, and nowhere nearly as involved as you do video games. I'm a candle to your sun when it comes to collecting. But my collection, yeah, I'll acquire as much as I can, but then there are key pieces that I'm going to seek out to make sure I have it as part of my collection. You know what I mean? Things that matter to me, things I love, records that I can't go without. Linkin Park Meteora, From Under the Cork Tree, Fall Out Boy, Postal Service, Give Up. Like, these are albums that if I can have them on vinyl, as a music lover, I need to have them. And they exist outside of the collection, but within the collection, right?
Yeah.
You know? So, for example, for you to have games that have talking points, like the Guy game, for example, that's super interesting. But it's also in conjunction with, you know, your soul pieces and the things you really love in your collection.
Yeah, and they're just, like, again, it's also one of those things where if I find them and they're cheap, I'll grab them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't mind. Like, I sort of have a rule. I say it in my videos, like, I can't turn down dollar games if I don't have them. So if I see them at a garage sale and they're $1 and I don't have it, I'll buy it.
Yeah, so, I guess the point I was trying to make was you have pieces that are cool for talking points, and then you have pieces where when you speak about them, they hold a whole different thing. But something like the Guy game is great to have in the collection.
It's a talking point for sure. It's definitely a weird one.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and you know what? On a funny side note, I own one vinyl record.
Really?
One.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Think about it, and I'm gonna try to guess.
You will never guess it.
I'm hold on.
Right. Can I give you? I'll have to give you a hint though. It's a soundtrack.
It's a what?
Soundtrack.
Hold on. I was guessing soundtrack. Hold on.
Oh, were you really?
Of course I was.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're roughly in your mid to late 30s, maybe early 40s. Hang on. I got this. Video game collector. You like bleeps and bloops? You like fun stuff, nerdy stuff?
I got it.
Is it the Top Gun soundtrack?
No, but that's a damn good soundtrack.
Okay, I was gonna say that or Batman.
You know what?
That's a good one too. But no,
yeah.
I was gonna say Ninja Turtles 2.
No,
Ooh.
That's another good soundtrack.
That's a sick soundtrack. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
What is it?
I picked out 3 really good soundtracks. It's funny. I got it as a gift. That's why I have it. My cousin was out. He collects vinyl, and he was out at a vinyl show, and he was perusing vinyl, and he saw this. He goes, "Oh, I knew you'd have to have this." So it's the Lord of the Rings vinyl.
No way! Which film?
But not the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings, like the cartoon one from like the 1970s.
I remember that.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings one.
That's the one. Awesome. That's the one that Leonard Nimoy narrated, I believe.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's him.
Yep. No way. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Do you have it framed and on the wall?
The artwork on it.
No. I can imagine. 70s. Yeah. I can imagine. Yep. Yeah.
That's cool. It's the only vinyl.
That's amazing.
All my things of and I see vinyl at garage sales a lot. I never really look at it because I feel like, you know what, that's somebody else's hobby. Let them have it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I find like one time there was a place that the right near me that just closed maybe a year ago, maybe pre-COVID. I'm not sure, but it definitely didn't survive the shutdown. He had a dollar stack that was out of this world, because if it was even slightly damaged or whatever, it would go on the dollar stack, and people didn't know what they were worth. They'd give him a dime, he'd sell them for $1. But I found I think it's the third run from England, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton John.
Oh, shit. And
I found like 4 copies on this dollar stack, and yeah, they're a little dinged up, but even dinged up, they're like worth $11 or $12, I think. No I mean, last time I looked into it, but yeah. It's also great to have. Like I found 5 copies of Spanish Train by Krista Berg.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, they have value, and I just gave them away as gifts. I gave one to our buddy Combe. I gave one to my father-in-law. Like,
man.
The magic of the dollar stack, you know. So there's value. You could find 5 copies of something for $1 that's worth $9, but then you could also find You could also find 5 copies of something that you know everyone would love to have in their collection, and you just you know.
Yeah. Vinyl. I know a lot of
video games are different like that. You're not gonna find 5 copies of Blades of Steel for $1 a piece and then be able to dish them out to the homies.
Well, yeah, I know that's definitely true. I do have a small cassette tape collection, but I just buy hip hop ones if I can find them. Yeah. So, but yeah, like that's the only kind of music I collect.
I believe it's Eminem who has a massive tape collection.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
as every
It
hip
took me
hop tape
forever
he
to
could get
find
his hands on.
It took me forever to find a working cassette player. Like I would find them all the time, and they were always like cassette player. They just wouldn't work. And finally, I found a nice one that actually worked well. Like a nice. I wanted like an old boombox kind of thing to have. Like, so there's something about it. I have a cousin actually.
You mean to tell me that a man named Gsale couldn't find a working tape deck at any of these garage sales?
Oh, I found them, and they didn't like. They were always busted. I would like take them home and try them out, and nope, couldn't get them to work. So it's like honestly, I think for 10 years I tried to find a working beta player, and I finally found one. It took like 10 years to find a working one.
Jesus.
So I bought two that the woman swore work, and I went home and they wouldn't work. So,
here we go. Here we go. Chang-a-lang.
So.
This is a fully functioning Sanyo, bro.
Yeah, nice.
This thing is dope, man.
Yeah, I got two on my wall there, but they're a little smaller than that one, I think.
Everything works on this thing.
Actually, maybe it's the same size now. I think about it.
Does Winnipeg have a subway system?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say good.
We barely have a bus system.
Wait, we got a fast bus lane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Shit.
rapid transit, one corridor.
Don't worry, Grant. You'll get to see a taste of Winnipeg again.
I cannot wait.
Actually, this October and then next June. So.
Yeah. By the way, we're promoting for your social on the pod, right? Like, I don't care who you invited. There's gonna be a lineup around the block.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All of what was that place in the second or third episode? Not Polo Park. Transcona.
Transcona.
All the Transcona is gonna find about the podcast and be around the block wanting to get mad at you.
Cheers to Transcona.
Hell yeah! Hey, we love every single person from every single place that takes the time to pop in and listen to us every single week.
Yeah, man.
We're very appreciative. We're very appreciative of Gsale coming out and doing this with us.
Oh yeah, no problem. It's been fun.
Yeah, buddy.
Absolutely. When Corey Corey showed me that boombox, I'm like, does it have the red and the yellow and the red and white in the back? Because if you have an RCA input, you could go Y cable out of your phone. I mean, you used to be able to go Y cable out of your phone, I guess.
Yeah.
But you could go Y cable. You could get them. You could get the USB to Y cable. I don't know how good it works, but you go Y cable out of your phone, and now your boombox is your Bluetooth speaker.
That's awesome.
You know, you have to plug it in, obviously, but I'm sure if you get a really good old boombox, you could make some room in the guts and then put like a lithium ion in there, a rechargeable, whatever you need to do. Or I have no doubt.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So if you're handy Gsale, you're gonna rebuild a boombox and come back on the show and show it to us.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen.
No.
No doubt.
Do you have a favorite game of all time?
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, I guess it depends on the system, but I mean, like, Final Fantasy VI would arguably be my favorite game of all time. But I think if you want to look non-RPG, for the NES, I have a weird soft spot for Maniac Mansion. There's just something about that game that I just like. Yeah, I just thought it was really creative for the time. Like, you could, like, depending on the characters you picked, you could do different things and have different endings and beat the game different ways. I just thought that was kind of cool.
It kind of gave you like your own choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
type
it was
style, right?
very
Yeah, fair enough.
I loved Mylon's Secret Castle.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, that's something else.
And you want to talk about save states? Save states went a long way for me beating Mylon's. And Ninja Turtles 1. Ninja Turtles 1 is the Everest of games.
All the games you could have brought up, I never thought it would be Mylon's Secret Castle.
Dude, the well of stuff that we could... Dude, I'm telling you, we could do 4 hours on this tonight. We're going to do two separate two-parters with Team Gsale because this is going so well.
Yes.
Is there a game that you could say that at your best, you may be in some of the best of the world at it?
No, I was never that.
And by the best in the world, I mean like top million. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I mean I got really good at Killer Instinct. I got really good at Marvel Superheroes or Marvel vs. Capcom. I really like those games.
Those are really good. Those are really
I was
good.
always very bad at shooters. I just never was very good at shooters. Rather, for me, it was fighting games or RPGs. Those are the two that I kind of like to play. But yeah, I'd say like I played way too much Marvel Superheroes when it came out on arcade, and then later on Marvel vs. Capcom. Like those were games I played.
Those were awesome.
They were fun games.
Man.
I pumped so much money into those.
Were you ever a fan of like Primal Rage?
Yeah, Primal Rage is it's interesting for what it is.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters in there. I thought there's a lot of cool, a lot of different style of character from other games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I played it on the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo port's not very good. I think it's better on, is it Genesis? I don't know.
Sega. It's on Sega Genesis.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I originally. That's what I originally played it on. Was that?
For anyone who doesn't know what a port is, listening, our listeners, a port is taking it from one place to another. So, like, a lot of these games came out on arcade, so it's not like they made a new game for Nintendo or Super Nintendo or Genesis. Yeah. They ported the information over to the cartridge and adjusted the controls for it.
Yeah. So here, I'll do trivia for you. What do you know? Which console was best able to emulate arcades? Like of that era, of the era we're talking about, Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that. Which console?
Sega.
TurboGrafx 16.
No, hey, good guess though.
Ooh.
No, it was the Neo Geo.
The Neo Geo.
The who? Do you have one? Do you have one?
Neo Geo had like they basically built arcade cabinets and home consoles, but their home consoles were very obscure. I don't know anyone who had one growing up.
I remember hearing it. I remember hearing about it, but I never actually touched one.
Wait. Matt, do you own one?
No, I don't. I don't have like $10,000. I don't know. No, they're not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I would love to own a Neo Geo. It's like one of the rare ones I'm still kind of looking for.
I've never even heard of it, Matt. To be honest, never did.
Well, you must have played some of their games. So, like, for example, Samurai Showdown was a big one from them. Well, sure. Takara, but they were released on there. And then you also had King of Monsters. That's another one.
I remember King of Monsters. Yep.
Yeah, they had some really good titles. But I remember going to the arcade. We had a video store down the street in around Q8 that had it had a Neo Geo cabinet, and I remember playing tons of.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that was fun. But,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Neo Geo, one of the rare consoles I still want to find find out in the wild, but I probably never will.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, I mean, you could no, I mean, if you find one that doesn't work, and then you could take the guts out and put an emulator inside.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, they
did release an emulator one.
It's not very pure for your collecting and the style of collecting, but I mean, if you just want to, you could look at the Neo Geo box with the Neo Geo controller.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. It's one of those consoles. Like, there's not much I'm still looking for consoles. I'd like to get one of those. I don't have a Sega CD that works. I had one that stopped working, so I'd like to find a working Sega CD. But otherwise, I generally have all the consoles I want. There's a lot of obscure.
You have 7 Dreamcasts.
I have a Dreamcast, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big loud voice in this in the video game community that screams for the Dreamcast as one of the best of all time, and
it is. It's very cool.
I enjoyed it. Everything I played on it was great.
Really good sports games on that system, man. I thought it was great.
Chan, what was the game we used to play at the youth center where you would be like, it was like a beat 'em up, like a Final Fight style, Streets of Rage style.
Wasn't it? It wasn't no Def Jam shit, was it?
No, it was Power Stone.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah, it was Power
That
Stone.
was one of the big ones, and that one, and there was a boxing one that came out.
There was an NBA 2K or something that came out that was retarded.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous.
Yeah, Dreamcast, it was like the last breath for Sega to try to keep it relevant.
Yeah.
It had potential. I don't like the controllers, but I did like the system. It had some really good games for it. So, but yeah. Sega kind of screwed everything up towards the end. Like, the Saturn had potential too, but they rushed it and they extended the Genesis way too long by trying to add stuff onto it. Like, it's just, I don't know, mismanaged a little bit is maybe the best word for Sega. The Genesis was such a masterpiece, and then they kind of rushed everything after that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it was an arms race, right? Yeah. Nintendo was like, we're the best. You're not catching us. And Sega's like, if we're gonna go after them, we gotta throw our punches.
And then PlayStation
and they gassed. Yeah.
And then
Nintendo created
Nintendo. Wow. Yeah, I know. You've told me this story. Yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah.
That's another one. Nintendo screwed.
Yep, they did. Absolutely.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, so we got a couple of this or that questions for you to wrap up this epic 2-part It's gonna be a two-parter because we're going on almost 2 hours.
We're going longer than usual, but that's all good. We're enjoying this. This is a good time.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Not gonna lie, some of these this or that's you've pretty much already answered this evening, but that's all right. We're gonna run through them again. Who cares? Let's go. That's what we do, man. That's what we do. Gonna go with the first one. Mario the character or Sonic the character? What was better? Yeah, Mario. You preferred him? Yeah, I thought Sonic the Hedgehog was pretty cool. He first came out, I was like, oh, look at this cool fucking random little rodent thing just running around all fast and shit. Well, he got fat dumpy Mario with his mustache, and I don't know.
But the Mario Empire was already well on the go by the time that happened.
I'm talking about the character itself. I'm not talking about the game. Come on now, the game of Mario is way better. Way better. Okay, well, yeah, we understand why too, because you're just a big fan of Mario, right?
I like Mario.
And another one here, man. NES or Super NES? You've already mentioned Super NES is probably by far pretty much one of your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I like them both. But, I mean, if like for replay value, it's Super NES. I go to that way more than I go to NES. So.
For sure, man. I hear you. I mean, NES was again, something new at the time, but it was a whole new level of gaming when that Super NES came out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was just game changing, like literally game changing. That console to me is the best one ever invented. But
but pound for pound, Nintendo still it's not a conversation, but it is, because there are some games in Nintendo.
No, for sure.
If they had the Super Nintendo bandwidth when they made these games for Nintendo, they would probably be.
Like, don't get me wrong. When I go to this guy's basement here, man, right? I run up over to the NES section, right, and I'm just like, oh my god, you got this game, and I'm like, it's like I'm 10 all over again. You know what I mean? I'm just like, holy shit, like. Grant, if you were in this man's basement, you'd be like a kid in a candy store. I'm not even lying. Like,
I have no doubt. I have absolutely no doubt. But
it's unreal, man.
Excuse me, pardon me. Imagine if you were able to save on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one.
Oh, right.
Because it is a slog to get through that goddamn game, man.
Yep. It's punishingly hard.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the electric underwater stage.
Yes,
is like that broke so many Nintendo.
Whoever invented that game was just too damn rude.
Yep.
You know, they're like, we're gonna ruin little kids' lives right here. They're never gonna be.
That's World 2.
Yeah,
that's the second thing. The first level's rough to deal with. The first level, it's it's pretty linear, but in that little house. Remember, in that little house, you got to go to the end, go up, get the pizza, and come back. That was tough to get through. You know what I mean? You had to figure out how to use Donatello's length and
it's crazy.
Mini boss fights all the time. Like
that game is. I have a love-hate relationship with that original Ninja Turtles game. It's such a good game, but it is so painfully difficult to get through.
Yeah.
I'm trying to even remember if I've ever beaten the game. I think I did, but it's so hard.
I can tell you I never have.
I beat it with the save states, but it was a pain in the ass. Shredder's no walk in the park.
The whole effect control part is hard in general, but like Nintendo, they didn't mess around, man. Like there were games like Zelda 2. There was like level 1 easy, level 2 beat the crap out of you. There was no gradual ratcheting it up of the difficulty. It's just like they threw you into it.
Yeah, no doubt.
But sometimes you like hard. Sometimes like, for example, the way you talked about how Mario 2 in Japan was just insanely hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a bunch of people who played Mario 1 all the way through a lot, and they're like, yo, I want this to be harder.
Yeah.
I get it. I know how to work the guy. I could probably work him better if there was more shit to deal with.
Yeah.
Or, the jumps being longer or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the biggest problem with the original Nintendo that you often hear people complain about, Turtles wasn't one of these games, but it's a lot of the games were one-hit deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's like you got hit, you're done. Like, and that is like Ghosts and Goblins. That's like you get hit. I think you get 2 hits. You get 1, you lose your armor. 2, you're dead. So it's like, can you imagine playing a hockey game and not being able to get hit?
Do your rings explode out of you everywhere?
Or that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Okay, next one. Do you enjoy playing real golf or Golden Tee?
Oh, God. You know,
Hey,
what's
for all
funny
you
is,
people
like,
out there who don't know, this man owns a Golden Tee arcade in his basement. This is why I'm saying this.
I
And it only gets
fudging,
turned on
fudging love me some Golden Tea. Let me
Yeah,
say
the
that
late nights
right
The
now.
late nights I've played. What do you prefer, Maddie?
Mashing up your forearm, just hammering that shit through the screen, like.
Which one is it, Maddie?
I was gonna say the arcade because you can get drunk while doing it, but you can actually do that playing regular golf too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not a golfer. It's just I find it takes too much time. I'd rather just play Golden Tee. So
There we go, man.
Golden Tee.
There we go.
But it was
There we
funny
go.
you mentioned that because the only time I ever turn that unit on is when like you or other people come over. Like I never play it.
I literally had a conversation with our friends, man, recently, like Jay and all them, about like doing rainy day golf tourneys out at your crib, man.
Yeah, that's all. Because like I had this dream of when I was a kid. I wanted ever since I saw the movie Big, I wanted an arcade in my basement. I just wanted it, and they're not as cheap as people think they are, especially to get a working one. And after like years of like almost giving up and finding a good working arcade cabinet, my uncle had mentioned to me he was going to sell his Golden Tee cabinet, and I was like, well, what do you want for it? He's like, I don't know, $100. And I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah.
No.
And, well, Corey
What an arbitrary number, eh?
Yeah,
$100. Well, you know what? Give me $100 for it.
Yeah, threw it out there. And he had bought it brand new. Like,
Wow.
Yo, if
Nice.
there's a piece for that rolling ball, if it goes, good luck finding it for anywhere near $100. Like.
Yeah, and thankfully it's one of the first Golden Tees. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's one of the earlier ones.
Like an OG model.
Like, it weighs a ton, and we had to get it from his basement to my basement. And I remember we had it on a dolly, and my brother and I got it to my house, and we started going one step at a time down the stairs with the dolly. I'm going down the stairs. My brother's holding the dolly, and then we get about halfway down the stairs, and he's like, "Crap! He's like, I can't hold it anymore. Like the handle is now underneath the arcade." So he goes, "If I go one step further, I'll have to let it go." So we have this like 800-pound arcade like midway down my stairs.
No.
And he's like, we're like in a bad. So he's like, I'm gonna go to my truck and grab the ratchet straps, and I'm gonna wrap them around the dolly, and then I could just pull. So I'm like, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So he runs out to the truck, and within about 30 seconds, I realized how heavy this damn thing was now that he had let go. So my hands were shaking, and I'm gonna get killed by an arcade. This is fitting, I guess. So, he finally gets back with the straps. He straps it up. We get it down, and I remember putting it in the corner and thinking, it will never move. It's getting sold with the house. So whoever buys this house just inherited a Golden Tee arcade. So,
yo, Grant, are you and your wife looking for a house, man? Golden Tee, man?
Yeah.
Golden Tee.
Yeah. Nah, man. You know, if you had to guess what arcade I'd have in my house, what would I have? As long as you know me.
I don't know, man. Street Fighter?
You give me a DDR machine and I'll play it every goddamn day.
Oh, I forgot about
every
that.
single morning I'll wake up, I'll play DDR.
Every time I've ever gone anywhere with this guy and there's a DDR machine, he's on it like hard.
DDR. I have a guilty pleasure.
It could be within like 12 blocks and I'll be like, wait.
I can hear it.
Dun daddy dum daddy dum daddy dum.
Okay, next one. I think we already know this, but might as well ask it anyway. RPGs or first shooters?
First person shooters.
Yeah.
Oh, RPGs.
Yeah.
That's so tough because they're both really good. I mean, but I'm more likely to sit down and. I mean, it depends what I want to do. If I'm just in for a quick game, a first person shooter. But I mean, yeah, probably RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a first person shooter that you enjoy playing?
Well, funny because like when people talk to me, they assume like, it's retro games, which it generally is. But I love Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty is awesome.
Call of Duty's unreal.
Mm-hmm. I love Halo.
So
Halo's fun. Like Halo 2 was great. I mean, Halo's
I never got into Halo. I couldn't deal with the aliens and spaceships. I don't know. Something about it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I mean,
guns, I don't know.
Gears of War is something that gets forgotten a lot. Gears of War 1 was awesome.
Very good. Yep, that was decent for sure.
Yeah.
And again, it all starts from GoldenEye being like the the stepping stone.
Gears of War isn't a first person. I think it's a third person because you duck behind
person,
stuff, but still.
Oh,
When it comes to shooters, it's incredible.
Yeah, I meant to say this when we talked about GoldenEye though, but have either of you played Perfect Dark? Because that's like I think it's a better version of
Yes, it is. Yep, I'll give you that. Yep, Perfect Dark.
And it gets very little love, Perfect, compared to GoldenEye. Everyone always talks about GoldenEye, but no one really talks about Perfect Dark, and it was
because GoldenEye was the first of it. You know what I mean? That's why.
I think
Perfect Dark was like GoldenEye with aliens.
I think it's like, hey, it's like GoldenEye, but way better. Okay, cool. And then it's like, well, yeah, it is, but like. We like Oddjob and fucking Trevelyan and the proximity mines and this complex.
Proximity mines, man.
Like, you know what you love in the game, right? So.
Yeah. I used to love throwing those mines and then detonating them in the air. Just as, like, that was
my
favorite thing to do.
Forget Perfect Dark. You ever play Wild Guns?
Wild Guns is one of the best games
ever. It's so good.
I don't think I have, man. I don't think I've ever played it.
So good. By the way, insanely expensive and rare. That game I might even put in not rare category, but it's very hard to find.
Really?
You do not have it.
Do you have one?
I do not have Wild Guns. No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'd love to own it though. It's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie, I got a couple personal questions here for you.
Oh shit.
Oh. Yeah.
Now's the hot button political stuff.
I'm pretty sure. I know what you're gonna pick. But this dates back to our times of cruising around in your many cars you've owned.
What was it again? The Plymouth Laser?
Hold up. He had many cars, bro. Trust me, many. So, Fabulous, Into You, or Nelly Country Grammar?
Fabulous.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wait, I think Country Grammar?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Country Grammar. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
It was his first big hit and his best big hit, in my opinion.
And you fucking played this shit out of that track.
If you had to pick another Fabulous song, I might say okay. So Into You is not one of my favorite songs.
You're one third right.
Though. That's why I chose it.
You're one third right. It is his first hit. It's not his biggest hit, and it's not better than So Into You. Nelly Into Me. Fabulous Into Me. Oh my god, so classic. But if you're cruising around and you got the white boy bass rattling in the back with the subwoofer, yeah, Country Grammar hits a little harder, a lot harder.
Trust me. And in that laser, it hit hard, man. Shit. Okay.
If you want to talk about bass, you should have thrown in Southern Hospitality, Ludacris. Now that would have been
fair enough. Throw them bows, right? Throw them bows. Yo, and now to get on cars, since you've had so many, I'm throwing it out there: the '91 Plymouth Laser or the '94 Z28 Camaro.
Oh, what color?
He had it named after himself.
I knew he was gonna say that.
He went by DJ King Scam, and he had it colored Scam purple. I'm not even joking.
Wait, hold on, wait. You were DJ King Scam?
Yeah.
Corey has this one verse he kicks every time we're hanging out drinking, and he starts freestyling.
That's him.
And he brings up King Scam, something scam.
Yeah, man.
Yo, no way.
Yeah, man.
So
we tell stories, but we touch on history and stuff. We're trying to build a full world experience here on Into the North.
We're piecing it together one part at a time.
There you go.
I had a Camaro. It was a weird color. It got in an accident. I took it to my buddy's shop. He couldn't match the color, so he just made a new color. He called it King Scam Purple.
Nice. How purple?
Yeah. That's so tough. I'm gonna probably say
like Prince's suit, or like more like a lilac. You know, like.
No, it was like a nice
dark
purple, man. It was like in certain lights it looked almost blue. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh,
man.
that's gangster.
But you're gonna say what car?
I was probably gonna go with the Laser just because it was my first car, so there's memories there of it, and like I learned how to work. That car taught me how to work on cars. Like I took that thing apart and put it back together like so many damn times. And then you might remember I wanted to get another one as an adult.
Yes.
And I couldn't find one. I found an Eagle Talon, which is they're the same car, basically, just different name. And I did find one.
The Eagle Talon is not a Camaro, bro. Don't do that.
No, it's a Laser.
Oh, the Laser. Okay, sorry, my mistake.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Eclipse, they're all the same car.
Yeah, I'm not a massive car guy, but like give the Camaro a wee bit more respect than that, dog. Just a titch.
Very different. But yeah, I spent way too much money getting it roadworthy, and then after 1 year, I blew the tranny on it, and the car's done now.
Yeah.
So,
like if your '91 Plymouth Laser could like tell stories, it would have a literally like there'd be a documentary on our like early teens to late late teens to early adulthood lives. You know what I mean? Like there'd be like a whole it'd be insane. There'd be a book. Oh my god!
When you listen to it tell the stories, you just smell stale weed smoke and old French fries. Like,
oh my god, man!
Too much.
And then some. Let me tell you, holy cow!
Yeah,
crazy memories, man. Crazy memories. But yeah, bro, it's been a pleasure having you on the show here tonight, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
that's it. Yo,
this has been really good. I'm glad we got to kick it, man. It's been a while since I've actually seen you and talked to you, man, face to face. So
yeah,
good to see you again, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Hey, first of all, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Yes, no doubt.
Secondly, you are always welcome into the North with us. This has been such a great episode. It's going to be 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It's going to come out in 2 pieces for sure. We appreciate you, buddy. We appreciate your dedication to the craft, putting out good content, and your dedication to keeping old video games alive. You know what I mean? This is such a magical piece of a lot of people's lives. I heard a lot of people talk about how, everyone hates the fact that, a lot of these millennials are, instead of buying, houses they can't afford, they, go to Hot Topic and buy figurines and watch old movies and love their lives. It's like, well, you have money. What are you going to do? Chase a dream you don't want or be happy? Yeah. And I'm sure every time you look at walls and walls of video games, you got a great giggling child inside of you,
Yeah, there's definitely that there.
Yeah, we appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. And
yes, man. Thanks for coming on there, Maddie. Looking forward to the next time I come out and play a game or two.
Yeah, we got to do it more. Summer's coming, man. I'm off. Come by.
I know, brother.
I gotta come out too. As soon as Flair starts making $50 flights from Montreal to Winnipeg, we're gonna have a golden tee throwdown for sure.
More than welcome, man. We'll play whatever game you want and golden tee.
You're coming out in the next couple of years twice, Grant. So we can make it happen, homie.
Absolutely. So for everybody watching, check the description. We're gonna give you Team Gsale's YouTube channel, his Instagram. Go back and watch some of his old stuff. There's always quality stuff in there. And if you enjoyed this episode, you're gonna get a lot of the man you're sitting in front of you in these videos. It's great stuff. Check them out. Check us out as often as you can. We appreciate you guys watching. Another guest in the books. Winnipeg's coming out strong, man. 2 for 2.
There we go, boy. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So once again, thank you, brother. Anything you want to plug before you go? Anything coming up or?
No, man. I'll be putting out stuff this summer. So just for the time being, I'm taking it easy, but I will there. So, but nothing. Just like you said, check out the Instagram stuff. We'll get a little more this summer now that I got some time. So.
All right.
Sounds good, brother.
Well, for Maddie, a.k.a. Team Gsale, and for Chantastic Corey Chan out there in Winnipeg, I'm Don the Jeweler. Stay safe, take care of each other, and say goodnight to the bad guys. See you next time.
Peace.